finally, I'm going to introduce our third speaker, Opa Lebocho from the Creative Workers Union.
Thank you, Alison. At least, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm just trying to be closer to the mic. Can you hear me now? Thank you, comrade. You know, the advantage of speaking last gives an opportunity, you know, just to wrap up what everybody said. I think much has been said, and basically what we would like to put forward is just to put our concern as the Creative Workers Union. My name is Opa Lebocho. I'm the General Secretary of the Creative Workers Union of South Africa. Comrade, when this thing of Needletime came to the play, there was a lot of engagement. I'm talking about recording industry, that is RISA. We had discussion with Sambro, we had discussions with ECHO, and also discussion with SARA, in trying to find ways and realistic means of ensuring that at the end of the day we don't sit back and begin to cry foul around musicians not getting their monies, you know, with their current situation. It actually took us back to say that let's look at the Act itself. And one thing that is worrying us is basically to reflect as to what does the Act say. And in our interpretation, we are saying that the Act says performance right is between the sound producers and performers. That's it. That's what the Act says. Now, the challenge is around to say it. Immediately when this came into the fold, the Act again contradicted itself again to say that a number of people can group themselves and they can form a collecting society. That's another issue with us. To say now, if South African artists are actually impoverished, what is the problem? Is it because of maladministration that we have within the collecting societies? We need to reflect on that. Please get me right, I'm not saying any collecting society did, but we need to look at that. The second issue, comrade, was to say that if we say that this is a share 50-50 between the sound producer and the performer, what is the current status? You know, comrade, what is said immediately when that happened, some collective society took the advantage, and they were first to knock at the door of SARA to say accredit us. And our worrying factor is that, comrades, as you know, I think I need to make reference to it, because at the end of the day, I represent members who basically are the ones who are hard-hit. I know that some of you remember that there was a time when SARA, SABC refused to pay SARA because of some of issues that are happening within SARA, and SABC had a right to check why this has not been happening. And at that point in time, we intervened as a union to say that, look, during this process where you have to fight with SARA or trying to clear issues, you cannot hold members at ransom without them earning. We went hard on SABC to a level that SABC released the funds. And comrades, we did the worst mistake, because those funds disappeared. Now, if you start talking about different collecting society coming together saying we're collecting on behalf of the performers. And by the way, you must remember, all along, before this, from what, 1965 up until now, you know, nothing was happening. In fact, nobody cared about the performer. Out of the blue, because the legislation happened, people are running to say, we want to collect them. I mean, something is not right there. Was there proper consultation? Who are the performers? In our view, majority of the performers are members within the union. At the end of the day, people run to make decisions to say we can collect on that behalf. Yet, they haven't even paid some of the mechanical royalties. And I think most of the members in here would agree that some of you have got 6-7 years not having received mechanical. Now, what confidence are we going to have in collecting society, some of collecting societies who go out saying that we are collecting on behalf of, what confidence do we have in that? And as it is, as a union, our mandate is protect your members. And part of the earnings, it's part of the process that causes artists to suffer. Now, comrades, it's a challenge from our members to say that we need to come together and agree, because really, our approach is that we need to have one single collecting society that will address all these issues. One-stop shop. We're sick and tired to find that different accounts in different places are happening all over, hopping all over the show. We yet, you know, the product is one. So we went out vigorously into fighting some of accredited collecting society to say that I don't think that even Cypro themselves made the right decision, but just accredit. You are just accrediting any person with that number, 50 people or whatever. If you're 50 or so, you can go out and register, and you're a collecting society, you can collect. Where do you have the administration expertise? Where do you have the resources? How do you do that? How do you ensure that we don't repeat, you know, the ills of the past? Because it has been happening. Collecting society has been happening here. But I think some of you will agree with me, we're still suffering. So how do we make sure that in this Needletime process, that at least the performers can benefit? Lastly, comrade, retrospect. The act is not clear as to where are we dating the act. Are we saying from 1965, since it was stopped up until now, is it the route to take? We'll be happy to go that route. But people shouldn't dictate. We need to negotiate as to retrospectively, where are we looking at? Because it's not clear. And for us to leave this with the broadcaster, to me, is neither here nor there. Because we cannot go to the broadcaster and say that let's negotiate 3 years or 4 years. No. I think that some infringement happened in this period of time and needs to be corrected. And I believe that as a union, we will ensure that all these parties that are involved, they come together and come up with a solution. We don't want to go back, fight one another. At the end of the day, the person will suffer is himself or an author, whatever it takes. Because you must understand, when you talk about an author or a composer, it's still the same performer. Sometimes even graduating, becoming a producer. That happens. So we need to deal with these issues, comrade. And I think that one of the major issues, comrade, which was raised was that in as much as intellectually we talk about performance right, the Rome Convention, are we able to communicate to the root, to those people in the rural areas, to understand where we are now? What measures have we put in place to ensure that as the process is unfolding, everybody understands what is expected? I think one of the comrades raised this issue at the plenary. I think it was actually raised by a comrade next to me here, to say that, are we ready in order to have this interpreted in other languages, so that people, when they start reading or understanding the issue of performance art, what are we talking about? Because I think, comrade, fortunately, I'm represented nationally in this meeting. And the comrades who are here representing provinces, their wish is that we need to begin by putting in place what we call train the trainer, so that province can disseminate information together with the sound producers and the content society, ensuring that everybody understands us. Because we cannot compromise a process where at the end of the day we're going to find the same situation where there's maladministration within the content societies, by folding our arms and forever and ever we'll be dying in sport. I think enough is enough. Lastly, comrades, I would say that this process of the performance right actually was an answer to our process in order to try to assist to address the issue of the social security. Because at the end of the day, if we all can put our minds together, this is part of our revenue stream. We could find ways and means of ensuring that every creative worker in this country is protected on the social security.